Hello, everyone, as I have a coughing fit. Welcome to Wine, Women, and Words. I'm Michelle, and Diana is with me, of course, as always. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I thought I said hello too. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm being very quiet. Tonight you get to see Diana's impersonation of a mine.
Oh, no. We can't have that. That's an hour of way too much talking for me.
That'll be drinking for me.
I love your glasses. I never see you with your glasses on. Do I? No, I feel like I don't.
Oh. Well, I decided to go nerdy librarian today.
I had glasses that I actually need. Now I don't need them, but I should use them if I'm using the computer. But dog ate them. So
Yeah, FizzGig did that with my last pair of glasses. So for about a year, I walked around with little teeth marks in my glasses because I didn't have the money to buy new glasses. Um, so yeah, the dog stayed very far away from this pair. And I also got the protection so that if the dog were to do that again, I wouldn't have an issue.
it's probably what I should have done. But I foolishly thought that hard plastic objects like glasses were safe. You know.
Yeah, first time dog owner. They get you every time.
Well, I had cats before that, and cats they don't care. They don't touch your stuff.
Oh yeah, dogs care. They're like, oh, that smells like you. You're gonna leave me for work? Yeah, I'm gonna take your glasses. I'll show you, bitch.
I will destroy your life.
Yes, dogs are passive aggressive like that.
River ate a hole in his crate. Like it's completely the hard plastic lining on the bottom of his crate. Like he has a blanket in there and he has toys and he ate a hole in I don't even know what happened to the plastic.
Yeah, it's probably in his poop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I came
Well,
home to a mess of trash this afternoon, so I totally feel you.
I don't know, like I kind of am convinced that he would be fine if we left him out of the crate while we were gone. But and my husband is nodding his agreement. But I just don't want to risk coming home and finding like our couch is eaten or something. But anyway, we are on our last week of our March book, which is The Good Girls Revolt. And I have my copy, but it's all the way over there drying off because my dog spilled a glass of water on it, which is kind of like tantamount to like death.
It's okay. It's water. It's water that'll dry. You'll still be able to read it. It's not like it was wine or the dog chewed on it. Now that would be unforgivable. That would earn the dog
Yeah.
some serious crate time.
Yeah, no,
Water
it
is
is
an
fine.
afterthought.
It's just the back, it was flipped over. So when it spilled, it got the back. And I flipped through it far enough to know that the water didn't seep down any further past the acknowledgements. So he's lucky. But I'm letting it dry right now. So we will be having Lynn on our show this Sunday. We'll be having kind of a special extra episode in between our weeks. So she'll be on this Sunday at 7 p.m. your time, 9 p.m. my time. And I just realized I have been saying 6 p.m. the whole time, and it is not. It is 7.
If we
7
needed
p.m.
to do it
Pacific
at
time.
6, yeah, I'm home that day, so I'll be, doing chores for most of the day. Actually getting some gardening done. So if we need to be earlier, we can totally be earlier.
I will not be home. I am going on a date with my husband to go see Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, how exciting! I
I
can't wait for you to
know.
see it.
I am so excited. He's
Oh my
giving me the
god.
look of
Okay, I'm
judgment,
gonna
but
warn
I
you
don't care.
now. From the beginning, I was teary-eyed. I was doing this number, and like I had my head on my husband's shoulder, swooning half the time. And he's not a Beauty and the Beast fan, and he's definitely not a musical fan. And he's like, this totally counts for a chick flick, doesn't it? Because he only has to watch 3 of them a year with me. And this is number 2. And he's like, this counts as a chick flick. You know that, right? You do know this. And I'm like, oh, yes.
I don't care.
It's so worth it. It's so worth it. And then halfway through, he leans over and he's like, you know, our trip to France is not going to be anything like this. You do know that, right? And I responded back, challenge accepted.
I'm gonna figure out somehow how to record a song for you. I won't email. I won't sing it. I'll probably lip sync it. But I'm going to record it and email it to you when you're in France, and you just have to play it when you're out somewhere with him to be like.
I just happened to break out. You know, my sister lives in Strasbourg, and we're gonna go see her. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the picture of it, and it looks like the storybook town where Beauty and the Beast was. And she's just down the river from the actual town that inspired Beauty and the Beast. So if I break out randomly into song, that's perfectly okay. I'm just gonna be that crazy American.
Please
But
do
yeah, I'm
it.
totally gonna be breaking out into song, and it's gonna be like Beauty and the Beast. And then we're gonna go over to Germany for a day, and it's gonna be like the movie Beer Fest, complete with hot cheese soup flying through the air.
And at some point, you're gonna have to find a way to work in Scotty Doesn't Know, just for me.
Oh, we will. We will. I will Ryan and I will record Scotty Doesn't Know somewhere in Paris. Now the key is I'm learning French, so if I can do it in French, that'll be extra special.
Those are bonus points.
Right?
So this week, we're both like, I just woke up from putting Lily down, and Diana has had a rough week, I gather. So we're both kind of like giddy on, let's talk about nerdy stuff for a little while.
Yeah, I need wine and book therapy, really, when it comes down to it.
So this week, we are talking about our to-be-read lists, which is basically, that could be, a 2-hour discussion each, but we're narrowing it down, and needless to say, I can pretty much, every single book that we have scheduled for Wine, Women, and Words is obviously a book I am excited to read, but I didn't pick them because we're going to be spending a month talking about them.
I picked one that's going to potentially, we haven't gotten confirmation yet from the author, but it's going to potentially be one of our books in the fall. But I'm really, really looking forward to this book, so much so that I might read it before we actually read it here.
Oh, that's fair. So that was just a disclaimer in case anyone, especially any authors, if they're watching and I don't mention their books, it's not because I am excited about reading, or I'm not excited about reading your book. It's because we're going to be talking about it a whole bunch. And
a whole month.
And if you follow our Instagram account, I post a whole lot of pictures and I spend a whole lot of time talking about it. So
I post a lot on mine. I'm just really bad about re-gramming them over to our Wine, Women, and Words account. But I need to start doing that again. But when I start writing something new and start really focusing on something new, I have a tendency to introvert. So you don't see me as much on like social media and in other places or going out much unless my husband drags me out of the house, which he has been known to do. So yeah, I haven't been on much lately, but you should see more of me soon, hopefully, with some of our books coming up.
Yeah, we have some good books coming. Next month is going to be a good next month. We are trying something new next month. So we will be taking on Zelda Fitzgerald next month. And what we're going to do, we have each read a historical fiction book about Zelda Fitzgerald. Diana has read Z, which is the book that the Amazon series is based on, by Therese Ann Fowler. And I have read Guests on Earth by Lee Smith. So what we're going to do next month is we're going to switch. I'll be reading Z and Diana will be reading Guests on Earth, which Guests on Earth isn't actually about Zelda Fitzgerald. And I think that's what makes it really interesting for our show, because she's kind of like a supporting character. She just happens to be where our main character is, but she's still a pretty prominent figure. And then at the end of the month, we will actually be bringing both authors on the show to do kind of like a round table about Zelda.
And basically a 1920s party.
Pretty much. So start researching your 1920s cocktails. Because that might be the one time that I venture away from wine for the show. And, costumes are encouraged, but not mandatory.
I might go with champagne that night. I'm thinking because of the, champagne was quite popular, and I think she drank a lot of champagne, especially when she was in France.
I think she drank a lot, period.
Woman after my own heart. Speaking of drinking, what are you drinking tonight, Michelle?
Tonight, the bottle's all the way over there. I am drinking this. It is it's a red blend by Apothecary. It's called Apothecary. I have to get it. Hold on. What are you drinking? You go first.
Okay, I go first. Okay. I went with Josefina, a rosé from Paso Robles. It's from San Antonio Wineries, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I have to be really careful. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a Syrah rosé, so it's not a pure rosé, I guess. Apparently, it's a rosé, but yet also has some different qualities to it, which I'm actually quite happy about, because for some reason, rosés, they give me a headache after I drink them. So I have to be really careful with which ones I choose. And I think perhaps because this one is a blend, I'm doing okay with it. It's from San Antonio Wineries. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, if it comes from San Antonio Winery, it's all good. I love their wines. Their sparkling berry wine, that gets me into trouble. That is the result of my New Year's Eve, was that wine that I drink by myself. 2 whole bottles.
So I was close. It's a red blend by Apothec Crush, it's called.
Ooh. I think I've had other blends of Apothec.
Yeah, I know I've had them before. I've definitely never had the Crush before, and it's pretty good. I think I'm liking it. I've been super into red wines lately, and usually I like whites better. So I think I might be switching back pretty soon, because the weather's supposed to warm up now, so I'm ready for light, warm weather white wines.
I love a white wine with a white wine sangria. White wine peach sangria is so good.
That sounds delicious. I like spritzers. Why do I like
it? Where you have the actual club soda in the wine, right?
Right.
Okay, I had the white trash version of that growing up. You see, when I was a kid, and kids, this is what happens when you're an Italian. My uncle Mario used to like to pour wine into our sodas. So I grew up on a mixture of red wine and Coca-Cola. It was like half and half, I kid you not. And this was, what I would have with my Sunday dinners at my aunt's house. So that was my idea of a spritzer. So, I mean, to the point where when my Uncle Mario died, my husband and I went out to dinner. My husband took me out to dinner at Olive Garden. We got 1 glass of wine and a couple of sodas, and we split the glass of wine between the 2 sodas in memory of him. But yeah, that was my idea of a spritzer. So that's what I like to call my white trash spritzer.
That counts.
Yeah.
So that's what we're drinking. And I really want one night, we have to work on setting this up, but I really would love someone who knows wine to come on to the show one night and do like a virtual wine tasting class. I think that would be so much fun.
Yes. So if any of you are out there listening who are able to do that, please hit us up. You know where to find us on social media.
Yes, I think that'd be lovely.
So, now on to our books that we're most looking forward to, which
Yes.
the to be read list is pretty tumultuous. I mean, right now I'm still working on my bookcase, which is probably what I'll be doing on Sunday to get out of chores. So for me, I just have these stacks. I have a stack of books that I've read, and I've got a stack of books that I need to read because I have run out of room for books in my office already, which really wasn't that hard to do. And I kid you not, the other day I was like, I need a book to read before I go to sleep. And I took a book off my to be read list, and I was like, oh my God, there's one less book. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm going to run out of books soon. And then I was like, oh crap, there's 9 books currently in that pile alone. So yeah, I've come into the hoarding phase of my book world.
I saw a meme somewhere, I think on Facebook, that was like, at this point, I don't know if I'm buying books to read them or just collect them. Like, true story. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, before it was nice to have when I was really into ebooks because I could buy as many books as I wanted and my husband would never notice. But now I have my own room and he doesn't come in here very often, so he'll never notice until they actually start to fall out of the room. That's when we'll have a problem.
Yeah, we finally cleaned out the guest room, the 4th bedroom, yeah, upstairs, and we bought like an armchair and a sofa to go in it. So we're kind of like turning it into like a reading room, I guess. And I was like, we could get more bookshelves. I could get more books. So
I totally want to get more bookshelves, but I got this gorgeous bookcase that at one point it was black, completely painted black. It was this gorgeous cherry wood, and the tenants that lived here before, 2 tenants ago, they painted it purple.
that's
And
awful.
yeah, this room here was a 16-year-old girl's bedroom, and it was painted the most obnoxious shade of purple because 16-year-old girl. And they painted the bookcase as well. And then after that, a bunch of guys moved in, and they thought it was a really good idea to paint over the pink, and they painted it black with white trim because apparently they were Raiders fans.
Oh.
And since we moved in 2 years ago, because this is a family house, and we have been working on getting this paint off for the past 2 years, and I'm at the point now where I actually can kind of see an end in sight. My one and only New Year's resolution is to finish this before the end of the year. And some days I feel like I can accomplish it. Some days I can't. So we'll see by the end of this weekend how close I feel to actually being able to finish it.
I believe in you.
Yeah, so I can't buy any more bookcases until that happens. So I just have random stacks of books everywhere.
It's not a bad thing.
No, there could be worse things I could collect.
Yeah.
Like porcelain dolls that stare at you in the middle of the night.
Socks. Do you remember that sock guy from Universal Studios?
You've got some nice socks there, little miss.
I was wearing a pair of knee socks that said platform 9 3/4 on it that I borrowed.
I think it totally get Hot Topic.
Yeah, they were Hot Topic socks. They were nothing special. And I ended up stealing them, I guess, from my friend because it was shortly before we moved and they got caught up in the clothes that got packed, and now they're here in Chicago, and
Going away, President.
she was in, exactly. She was in San Diego. But anyway, I was wearing these knee-high socks that said platform 9 3/4, and this total stranger walked up to me and was like, those are some nice socks. I collect socks. Those are nice socks. Okay.
My husband was with you at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah. That was awkward.
Yeah.
Don't go up socks. Don't do it.
From now on, I think my husband's number one compliment to you is going to be, hey, nice socks.
I try.
Yeah.
My socks tonight are pretty awesome. They're fuzzy and warm. But anyway, would you like to do one of the first books on your list?
I would love to. The first book on my list is a book that I feel like I've been waiting forever and ever and ever to come out. And it finally came out this month. And it's Girl in Disguise by Greer McAllister. She wrote The Magician's Lie, which I absolutely loved. And Girl in Disguise, I'm going to try to read each of these premises to you as we go through. For the first female Pinkerton detective, respect is hard to come by. Danger, however, is not. Right there. Totally get it. In the tumultuous years of the Civil War, the streets of Chicago offer a woman mostly danger and ruin unless that woman is Kate Warren, the first female Pinkerton detective and desperate widow with a knack for manipulation. And descending into undercover operations, Kate is able to infiltrate the seedy side of the city in ways her fellow detectives can't. She's a seductress, an exotic foreign medium, or a rich train passenger, all depending upon the day and the robber, the thief, or murder she's been assigned to nab. Inspired by the real story of Kate Warren, this spirited novel follows a detective's rise during one of the nation's greatest times of crisis. Boom! I cannot wait to read this.
Yeah, I lied. There's actually I do have a book that's a potential Wine Woman and Words book, but not confirmed yet. You reminded me of it. Sorry. Okay, continue.
Okay. All right, well, I should go on to yours.
All right, so that is a hopeful Wine Woman and Words book. We are crossing our fingers.
Waiting a confirmation.
My hopeful for Wine Women Words is The Race for Paris, which Diana texted me about today. And I read the first maybe 4 words of the synopsis and stopped reading and texted her back and was like, yes! And then I went back and read the whole thing and realized that the whole thing sounds as amazing as the first 4 words. But let me find the actual premise for this. Okay, so The Race for Paris is by Meg Waite Clayton. And here's the premise. All right, Normandy, 1944. Well, actually, let me just give you like the total, like really super brief. The New York Times bestselling author of The Wednesday Sisters returns with a moving and powerfully dynamic World War II novel about 2 American journalists and an Englishman who together raced the Allies to occupy Paris for the scoop of their lives. I stopped reading after Journalists and was totally on board. There is a super long synopsis about it, but here's like the meat of the matter. Based on daring real-life female reporters on the front lines of history like Margaret Burke White, Lee Miller, and Martha Gellhorn, and with cameos by other famous faces of the time, The Race for Paris is an absorbing, atmospheric saga full of drama, adventure, and passion. Combining riveting storytelling with expert literary craftsmanship and thorough research, Meg Waite Clayton crafts a compelling, resonant read. So
that was like written for Michele.
Yeah. I need to read this book like yesterday. And we have emailed Meg to see if she would be interested in joining us. So, because that sounds like
another possibility too. She's the other one that we're thinking about, or we're hoping will, because as we mentioned, she's we messaged her and we're just waiting for confirmation. So my next one I'm gonna actually pick up, but yeah, that one just screamed Michele. It totally just screamed, and it was like, oh my god, I got maybe down to like just past where you read, and I was like, okay, all right, Michele needs to read this.
So no pressure, Meg and
Greer, no pressure at all.
Greer.
Because I mean, really, who doesn't want to spend an hour with us reading wine, reading books and talking and drinking wine and talking? Because we're just charming as all hell.
Rich is making weird faces at us, but I don't care. He's judging.
He's just jealous.
As he plays his World of Warcraft.
That's okay. Well, my next book is a book that I got a while back, and I've been meaning to read, and I need to read it. I just haven't gotten around to it. And it's the Princess Diaries. That's the one I had to get up and get instead of using my phone. And basically, it's the journal entries and discussions of behind the scenes at during Star Wars, during the making of Star Wars, and it's by Carrie Fisher. It's the last book that she wrote before she died, and she's just a phenomenal writer. I think she was. People never really, gave her the due credit for her writing before she died.
I had no idea that she was a writer either.
Yeah, she wrote, I want to say like 3 or 4 books. Postcards from the Edge, which is another one I haven't read. To be honest, I haven't read much of her stuff. There's Postcards from the Edge. There was another nonfiction one. Oh gosh, Wishfully Drinking or something like that, where she talked about her life, and it was more of a memoir thing. And I saw her stand-up that was kind of loosely based on that. But I didn't know about Postcards from the Edge, and I didn't read her first one because for me, I'm not a big nonfiction person unless I'm really, really, really into the subject, or if it's like satisfying a curiosity aspect for me. And yeah, I didn't pick that up, and that wasn't until after her death that I was like, oh shit, I really missed out on this. So yeah, I've been meaning to read that one.
Well, I have a small stack right here. This is It Can't Happen Here by Sinclair Lewis. And this was written in 1935. And
because he wrote The Jungle, didn't he?
No, that was Upton Sinclair.
Oh, okay. I knew there was a Sinclair in there.
Same name. Well, same. Okay. One of the names. So, all right. This kind of, the reason I bought this is, everyone's buying 1984 right now. The Orson Welles book. That's like a huge new bestseller right now because of everything that's going on in the country politically.
I feel like I need to reread that book.
I never read it, but I might have to read it. But this was kind of when I was just browsing through Amazon. This was another one that kind of popped up, and I thought it sounded interesting. So It Can't Happen Here is the only one of Sinclair Lewis's later novels to match the power of Main Street, Babbitt, and Aerosmith, a cautionary tale about the fragility of democracy. It is an alarming, eerily timeless look at how fascism could take hold in America. Written during the Great Depression when the country was largely oblivious to Hitler's aggression, it juxtaposes sharp political satire with the chillingly realistic rise of a president who became a dictator to save the nation from welfare cheats, sex, crime, and a liberal press. Called A Message to Thinking Americans by the Springfield Republican when it was published in 1935, It Can't Happen Here is a shockingly prescient novel that remains as fresh and contemporary as today's news. So I thought that was kind of fitting.
And not nonfiction?
I think we may have to reconsider the classification of it, but I have a feeling that this is going to be a book that's going to piss me off a lot. But I'm really excited to read it. The main thing when I go to pick a new book, and not like a Wine, Women, and Words book that I know that like I have to read, it's really hard for me to pick one. So I always like go and it's like the biggest decision of my day is what book to grab from the shelf. But I really want to read that one, I think.
I go by, it's almost like water divining for me when it comes to picking a book. Where I'm kind of, I don't have the water wand yet, but I'm like, this one. This one's the one that I'm feeling right now. Like right now I'm reading, in addition to the Wine, Women, and Words book, I'm reading Mademoiselle Chanel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just really into a C.W. Gardner mood. I was listening to Confessions of Catherine Medici in the car because I have a long commute. So I've been doing audiobooks and I was listening to that and I was like, oh, I really, and then because of the trip in the fall, I'm like, oh, I want to listen to, I'm all about anything French, anything that has to do with France. So that Coco Chanel, her story came up. So I was like, ooh, I got to read that one now. So my turn? Okay. My next one is Swing Time by Zadie Smith. And if my phone will pull that up again, I can give you a brief synopsis. Basically, two brown girls dream of being dancers, but only one, Tracy, has talent. The other one has ideas about rhythm and time, about black bodies and black music, about what constitutes a tribe or makes a person truly free. And this book bounces between London and West Africa. And I've been going through a Josephine Baker phase, which I suppose you can call it a phase. Because I got really into her history there for a little bit with all things 1920s, and Swing Time just totally it scratches that itch. And I always want to, when I read historical fiction, one of the things I love is that I can read about people and places and things, and just books in general. I can read about people and places and things I haven't heard about before, and that I want to learn about. And I don't know much about Black history beyond your general slave narration that you have in the US. So this one just really appeals to me on all those different levels.
I was just reading an article on a ballet instructor out here who has pioneered this new type of ballet called hip play, and he's basically combined hip hop and ballet, and it's kind of crazy to watch because these dancers they're on point, they're in point shoes, so they're up in the ballet thing, but they're like doing hip hop dancing, and I feel like my ankles would snap if I tried doing that, but my ankles would snap if I tried to get up on point shoes regardless.
I would trip and fall on my face, knock out a few teeth, give myself some bruises.
Right? But I read it was a really interesting article about the backlash that he's getting because of the new style of dancing, and but one of the things that he said is so great is it's starting to attract more African American people, not just girls, but girls and boys, to ballet because it's it's a new type of dancing. But that just made me think of it because it's like he's trying to do something new and he's getting so much flack for it. And one of the quotes in the article was, if he said that if he believes that if he were white and he created this, he would be like heralded what's the word I'm looking for? Like a genius for creating a new style of dancing. But since he's not, he's facing all this backlash for, putting his dancers in danger for injury by encouraging this kind of dance. But it's really crazy to watch.
And you're always going to have that population where they clutch their pearls and they're like, oh my God, this is new, this is different, this isn't right, this is a change. Like I was just reading that in Mademoiselle Chanel, where they were freaking out over an opera that she went to see. That in today's standards, we'd be like, eh. But back then it was just like, oh my God, no, this isn't right. You don't mess with opera.
Wow. My next book. So this, I had hoped, it was my goal to read this before the series comes out on Hulu, but I don't think that's going to happen. But it's The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Diana, I know, has refused to try to read this because she watched the movie.
I feel like more and more that stuff is happening, and Margaret Atwood is such a legendary author that I feel like I need to. I really should.
And I've started reading, I think I read maybe like the first chapter of it. But it's kind of funny, like you'll note, I'm noticing a theme, like at least the first two books that I've picked. So if you haven't seen any commercials for the Hulu series, I think it comes out on like, I think I said the April 26th.
Yeah, I plan on watching the Hulu series. I want to see how I do with the Hulu series. Because it is a disturbing story. And for someone like me, where I really get involved with the current goings on with political stuff, and I end up caring and then like getting really upset. That's where that book gets me, is that it's so realistic and so just gritty and raw that I'm just like, and it gets hits all those fear points that you have as a woman in today's society, especially in light of some of the current events that occurred today with women's health care. That I just I get disturbed, and I get really really upset by it. So even now, just talking about
it's like, it's so, I mean, even just reading the synopsis from It Can't Happen Here, it sounds like plausible now. And that's what's so scary about it, is it's not, I feel like it's not that far removed from the realm of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
But so The Handmaid's Tale, this is the synopsis. Offred is a handmaid in the Republic of Gilead. She may leave the home of the commander and his wife once a day to walk to food markets whose signs are now pictures instead of words because women are no longer allowed to read. She must lie on her back once a month and pray that the commander makes her pregnant because in an age of declining births, Offred and the other handmaids are valued only if their ovaries are viable. Offred can remember the years before when she lived and made love with her husband Luke, when she played with and protected her daughter, when she had a job, money of her own, and access to knowledge. But all of that is gone now. Funny, unexpected, horrifying, and altogether convincing, The Handmaid's Tale is at once scathing satire, dire warning, and tour de force. So I feel like, I mean, again, I feel like it's not, maybe when the book was written, it was kind of like, that could never happen. But I feel like now, I mean, I hope that would never happen, that women wouldn't.
Just look at like Saudi Arabia, where you have, the idea of women driving is, just a totally new concept. Women, there was issues with women playing sports because they might break their hymen. If they break their hymen, they lose their virginity, and therefore they're, not viable to be wives. And so it's, yeah, it seems so far away for America, but yet here we are, where sometimes it feels like we're on the brink of it, especially when we have a discussion about women's health care and there's not a goddamn woman in the room to discuss it. Not even one to say, hey, yes, mammograms are necessary and should be covered by insurance. Just saying.
We ranted about this earlier today, so that's why.
I'm gonna slam my wine cup down. It makes me so angry.
But if they ever outlawed reading for women, like, seriously, I would be in jail.
I'd be like, all these books are my husband's, and secretly be reading. If I can't read, why live?
What? I don't read.
Yeah, my father is one of those where he's like, just let me, when I get old, just let me sit in my retirement home with my books, and if I can't read my books anymore, just go ahead and let me go. I'm like, oh, Dad, but I feel that way too. Can't read my books, just let me go. All right, so my next book getting on to happier subjects.
Yeah, my next one is much happier too.
Okay. Mine is, because I'm obsessed with the 1920s in general. And my next book that I really want to read, that's actually on my summer to be read list, I think it's at the top of my summer to be read list, which may start in May because I get really excited for summer. I love summer and fall, by the way. But anyways, getting to my book and stuff, going off topic, is Villa America. If you've read Z, which you'll read, you'll find that the Fitzgeralds and the Hemingways have these friends, the Murphys, and they built this villa in the 1920s, obviously, in France. And the members of a group of expat Americans, that's who the Murphys are. They were known for their fabulous parties and for making the Riviera into the glamorous place it is today. The freewheeling days were filled with champagne and caviar, but these were people who kept secrets and who were, of course, heartbreakingly human. This is a stunning story about the lost generation, about a marriage, about a golden age which could not last. I can't read that. I can't wait to read that. I can't wait to sit in my pool and float around and read it. And get wonderfully sunburned because I've got so lost in the book that I forgot to put in an extra sunscreen.
It's a good reason to get a sunburn, I feel like. If you're going to suffer, you got to make it worth it.
Absolutely, and this time I'll make sure that it's even. Unlike when I read the Sempre Sonnet in the pool, and ended up with a sunburn. I was tilted, so I ended up with a sunburn on half my body, and not the other half.
I get like splotchy sunburn, so I'll get like a weird shaped sunburn on my shoulder, and then it'll like go away, and it'll reappear on the back of my leg. It's very annoying. But my next pick, and just looking at the clock, I'm guessing this will probably be my last one, even though I have 3 others on the list.
I've got 2 others on my list, so we can do 2 more.
Okay. So the next one that I have is Lost in a Book. It's the Beauty and the Beast kind of spin-off one by Jennifer Donnelly. And so this takes place, I'm guessing, while Belle lives in the castle before the Beast turns back into a prince. So, smart, bookish Belle, a captive in the Beast's castle, so yeah, has become accustomed to her new home and has befriended its inhabitants. When she comes upon Nevermore, an enchanted book unlike anything else she has seen in the castle, Belle finds herself pulled into its pages and transported to a world of glamour and intrigue. The adventures Belle has always imagined, the dreams she was forced to give up when she became a prisoner, seem within reach again. The charming and mysterious characters Belle meets within the pages of Nevermore offer her glamorous conversation, a life of dazzling Parisian luxury, and even a reunion she never thought possible. Here, Belle can have everything she has ever wished for, but what about her friends in the Beast's castle? Can Belle trust her new companions inside the pages of Nevermore? Is Nevermore's world even real? Belle must uncover the truth about the book before she loses herself in it forever.
Dun, dun, sounds dun. Interesting. You'll have to let me know how that is.
I will. Again, another book I had hoped to finish before I went to see the movie, but that didn't happen.
There's still time till Sunday. For me, my next one is The Tea-Girl of Hummingbird Lane by Lisa C. And Lisa, her books, I've got like all of her books on my to-read list. I just haven't been able to get to any of them. And this one is just so good that I don't think I can withstand waiting on this one anymore. Basically, it's about a family that lives on just to summarize it, a family that lives on a tea plantation. And they've been doing it for years, and then one of the characters gets accidentally pregnant, and then the kid goes up for adoption, and so it's all about their lives and whatnot, and it just sounds just so compelling and so beautiful. And tea.
That's the one that we were emailing about the other day, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that book sounds like it's going to make me cry, which is fine. I have nothing against books that make me cry, but I just need to be prepared for them.
Mm-hmm.
Super quick. I have been anxiously waiting for the next Dan Brown novel, and it will be coming out in October this year. It's called Origin, and it's another Robert Langdon book, and I love Robert Langdon, so I'm really excited for that book to come out. I don't even know what it's about, to be honest. I just know that it's Robert Langdon and it's Dan Brown, therefore I will read it. But I know Dan is not a fan, but I think it'll be really good. And the last one that not the last one, the last one I'm going to talk about is The Fortune Teller by Gwendolyn Stein Womack, who is the author of The Memory Painter.
I was like, I know that name.
She has her next book coming out in June, the day before my birthday. I'm going to repeat that for the husband in the room. The day before my birthday. It's called The Fortune Teller by Gwendolyn. Oh, and I'm sorry, it's Gwendolyn Womack. My bad. I have two authors written on different lines. So it's not Gwendolyn Stein Womack. I apologize. It's just Gwendolyn Womack. And I do know what it's about, but I don't have the synopsis up in front of me. But I love the Memory Painter so much that I don't even need to know what it's about. It's just an automatic buy for me.
The Memory Painter was just, seriously, that was one of those books I really did not expect to like as much as I did. I had to read it for a review, and I had a deadline, my deadline was on a Wednesday, and I picked the book up on Monday going, oh shit, I thought this was later that I had to do the review. And I picked it up on Monday, and by Tuesday at midnight, I had the book finished. It was that good, I couldn't put it down. And of course, during the process of this, I'm messaging Michele, and she ends up picking up the book, and she got to see how wonderful that book was. Ron goes, have you gotten to the next chapter yet? Have you gotten to the next chapter yet? I need to discuss the next chapter with you. Because I just needed somebody to share this book with. And yeah, I can't wait for her next book too. I forgot about the fact that she's got another book coming out this year.
Yes, she does.
It's going to be awesome.
So those are my last two.
Okay, my last one is the Italian Wife. There's an Italian Wife book, and then there's the Italian Wife. And we're going to go with the Italian Wife. That's the one I'm really looking forward to. She's an Isabella Baretti, wonderful Italian name, is an architect. And basically, the tragic encounter, she ends up, reluctantly, Isabella, a woman asks her to watch her 10-year-old daughter. And she agrees, and then watches in horror as the woman climbs to the top of the town's clock tower, and steps over the edge. So she agrees. So right off the start, she agrees to watch this kid, and then the woman kills herself. So she has to deal with that. And her, together with a charismatic photographer, Roberto Falco, Isabella is about to discover that secrets run deeper and are more dangerous than either of them could possibly have imagined. And obviously it takes place in Italy, and it just sounds so fantastic. I can't wait to read it.
That sounds really good.
Mm-hmm. I've been trying to work that in somehow.
Okay, I'm gonna have to remember that one too. Let me know how that is.
Okay.
Well,
that's it for my books.
I mean I have others, and of course there's definitely I would say probably 15 books on my bookshelf that I have been meaning to get to. There's even one right here, The Devil in the White City. I've started reading it, but I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, I've got books I've been meaning to get to, like The Ninja's Daughter, and Skylock is my name. I'm looking at my pile of books at the moment. And there's a couple others in here that I have been meaning to get to, but I actually, goddamn, work holds my paycheck hostage, making me actually go in and do some work. Damn it.
So annoying.
I know.
Well, so be sure to join us on Sunday, the 26th, 7 p.m.
Pacific time, Diana time.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to double check because I'm like, is it 9? I don't know. I will post on our Twitter.
Yeah, you do that. Let me know what time I need to show up and look pretty, okay? just do me that much.
We're changing the day and it's messing us all up. And this 2-hour time difference, all of my life it's been East Coast and West Coast. So I'm so used to the 3-hour time difference. This 2-hour time difference is totally throwing me off. But it is for sure this Sunday. I will be posting like crazy between now and then about the episode. So all of the details will be on our Facebook and our Twitter and our Instagram. So be sure to check that out. And Lynn Povich will be joining us. I have a million questions. I'm clearly going to have to cut it down to like a reasonable amount. And
that for you is like what, 50?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have to show you. I'll show you on Sunday. But I have like passages highlighted in the book and like notes written in the margin. I've never written on books before in my life, but I can't not.
Welcome to my world. I did that a lot.
But it should be a really good episode. I'm really excited to talk to her. And then next week we kick off Guests on Earth for Diana and Z for myself. So you guys can decide which one you want to read and do that or read both.
Alrighty. Well, have a good night and we'll see you all on Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.